Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the PlayStation 4. Now the game has only just gone live a few hours ago, and so I thought I'd make a video and jump right in and give you a bit of a guide of how to start out. So if you're new to Elite Dangerous, it is a very involved beast, and I certainly won't be able to cover everything in this particular video, so I'm going to be releasing many more videos over the coming days and weeks, and hopefully you can follow along with them and enjoy the game. So this is where you start, right here at the Elite Dangerous start screen, and we can press X to begin, and the game is loading. Now what you'll also get is this screen here. You've got a load of options here from training missions, and I do urge you to try out the training missions. Back in the days of past, the training missions weren't all that good, but they have been revamped many times since then, and they are well worth going through now. A couple of other things you will want to pay attention to is the options menu here. Right here you'll find an option to clear your save. Now I am going to do that because I've had a brief look just to get a feel for how things are working, but I'm going to show you exactly what you do. Your save, of course, is stored on the Frontier servers, so if you delete it here, you will completely lose access to it and it cannot be restored. So that's a very important thing to remember, because this is an online game. It's effectively an MMO, which means everything you do is stored on the server. That includes all the ships and credits you earn, so if you do delete it, please make sure that is what you want to do. So the save is now gone. So the first screen you're going to see is this one here. If you haven't got the Horizons version of the game, if you've just got the base version, then you'll just see the new Commander option. If you do have Horizons, or the Deluxe Edition, or the Legendary Edition, I believe it's called, then you will also see Horizons Sidewinder. Now the difference between Horizons and the base game, there's a lot of difference, but one of the main versions, or one of the main differences, is that Horizons will allow you to land on planets. And in fact, if you start with Horizons, you will actually start out on a planet. So that's the option we're going to choose right now. And we can select OK. We've then got to enter a ship name. Now ship name can be changed in the station services, but we're going to stick with the name we've got right now, and it already knows what I'm going to type in. We're going to call it the Tinderbox, our own little starter Sidewinder. The Sidewinder is a very small ship. It's not all that powerful, but it's more than cut out to get you going in the game. Let's see if it accepts that. No reason it shouldn't. Yep, and now we're back to here. So another thing you will want to pay attention to is the friends and private groups. If you want to play with friends, if you want to create a private group, well, before we do that, let's talk about the different game modes. You've got open play here, which is basically online. Well, all modes are online, but this one allows you to play in an open world with all other players playing the game. You have a private group, which I haven't set up yet, and that's what I was just talking about a moment ago. And this allows you to play with only select people, or people you just want to choose to play with. And then we have solo play, where you can just play on your own. And then of course there's arena, and that is basically close quarters combat, and we'll have a look at that at a future date. So if you do want to set up a private group, that is done so through your friends and private group menu here, and you can simply add friends, or you can join other groups. So right now we're just going to start out, and let's jump into open play. Now quite a few people are sometimes a bit concerned about playing open play because, well, you do get other players having a go at you. Open play, anything goes. You can be player killed by anyone else, and you can attack any other players. And if your ship gets destroyed, then you will have to rebuy it. You're sent back to an insurance screen, and assuming you've got enough money to cover the costs of the ship, you can repurchase it. But this is one thing that's very, very important to remember for all new players. Never fly without a rebuy cost. So then, here we are right inside the game, and you can see there we've got a welcome mission. Missions are on the tab to the left, or the menu to the left. Now the menus, the buttons, are context sensitive, so if you hold down any of the buttons you'll get additional options. That's holding down the circle button. This is holding down the triangle button, and we'll have a look at what all these options mean as we play through the game. And this is holding down the square button. Now the target panel is the one that's on the left, so if we hold down the square button and press left on the D-pad, we'll come over to this menu here. Now we've got a list of navigational options here. This over the side shows us all the navigational options, all the planets and moons and space stations and planetary bases that are within our local star system, and there's quite a few of them. It also shows you the distance to them. This one here, for example, is 1,934 light seconds away. So effectively that means it's 2,000 seconds away if you're travelling at the speed of light. So fortunately our ships can travel much faster than the speed of light. And here as you come down you can see other star systems or other stars, and these are in the light years. You need to use a jump drive to get to these, so it's a different means of travel. Effectively there's 3 modes of travel in the game. You've got your regular flight, your faster than light travel, and your hyperspace jump, and again we'll have a look at that further in. Now if you press the shoulder buttons here, this is the right one, R1, you come over to your transactions tab. This shows you any active missions. Go across again, we've got contacts. Contacts are not friend contacts, but rather they are other ships or other such things in the area that you can try and interact with. And you can see we can send a docking request to the station that we're already docked with, or we can lock target, or we can simply go back. Same with the Beluga liner there, we can lock these as a target. Sub-targets is something we don't need to worry about just yet, and neither is the inventory. That's for the ships we're targeting. So let's have a look at the welcome mission here. It's telling us to deliver data to Azaban Orbital, which is another system in the Erenin system. The data will be stored on your computer and will not require any cargo space. You will receive your reward upon delivery. And it says, good luck, Commander Obsidian Ant. And if we go down, we get a bit of a summary of the mission there. So we can abandon the mission or open the galaxy map from here. Come back to this menu. We can also open the galaxy map from here, or open up the system map. Now the system map shows us the system we're already in, and this takes a few moments to open up. Now there are many star systems within Elite Dangerous. There's actually around about 400 billion, so it's completely impossible to explore all of them. This one here is one of the smaller ones. So what you can see here is a planet, and the blue ring around it tells us that it's a landable planet, and the 3 blue bars on that ring tells us there's a starport there, or some buildings, or some other type of base. So we can actually zoom in further to that, and we will get a planetary view of the planet here, or a local map, and there you can see the base I was talking about. Now this is an NPC base, it's not one we can actually land on. The ones we can land on have a slightly different icon to that. And over on the left we get all the information about that particular planet or that base. Let's just head back to the system map here. This here is another planet, and it's got a little blue triangle over it. Now the blue triangle represents our current location. It's telling us we're landed down on this planet, and if we zoom in we can bring the planet round, rotate it round, and we can see that we're landed there on Baker's Prospect. And you can see the difference on the icon there. That tells us that is a landable base. So again, there's more information here, but it's something that's not too relevant for the moment, and we'll come back to that a little later on in the video. So having a further look at the system map here, you can zoom in and out, by the way, using the triggers. This is a gas giant, so you can actually fly to these worlds and go into the ring systems, which are full of asteroids. We've got another world here, and this icon here is a space station that's up there in space, and we can actually go and up into these and request docking permission and land there, and then accept various missions and do a whole load of other activities there. And down here we've got some other moons that we can land on. Now there's some planets that you cannot land on and some moons you can't land on. This one here you can see has an atmosphere. It says sulfur dioxide. Any world with an atmosphere you cannot land on. And again, you can only actually land on any worlds at all if you've got horizons. So if you haven't got horizons, your map will look a little bit different to this. You won't have these blue circles here. Now where it will look the same is back here in the main menu of your ship's HUD. This will look the same regardless of whether you've got the basic version of Elite Dangerous or the Horizons version. And this is the menu over to the right. So we'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at that now actually. Here you've got your status. Your combat rank, your trade rank and your explorer rank, these all go up as you progress within various activities, so the more ships you destroy, the greater your rank will become. The more you trade, the greater your rank will become in your trade rank, and explorer rank is determined by exploration, you guessed it. Over on the side there, you can use the D-pad here to select between the different menus there. You've got your reputation, system status, finance, statistics, permits, and back to reputation again. Now, permits are those systems that are completely locked out, systems that you cannot access. You need permits to access certain places, and you'll learn them through various activities. Module shows you stuff you've got equipped to your ship. We won't have a look at that too much just yet. You've also got fire groups. Now, if you press X on one of these, you can see you can switch it between the different fire trigger. This is bound to trigger 1. In fact, both weapons are bound to trigger 1. And the discovery scanner isn't bound to anything, but I'm going to bind that to a trigger 2 right now. You can also set up different fire groups when you've got multiple weapons. And we'll have a look at that slightly further in. You've got your inventory here. The Sidewinder's got a very small cargo. It can carry 2 units of cargo. But we can add more, and you can get larger ships which can carry way more. Down on the D-pad shows us our materials. Materials are used for crafting. Data as well, this is also used for crafting. And synthesis, this is used for crafting inside your ship, just to give you various buffs and various other types of abilities, such as repairing your SRV, which is a vehicle, or giving you explosive munitions. And then you've got cabins, if you've got any of them fitted, which are for passenger missions, and that's something else. And then we've got functions, and we'll have a look at that a bit later on. We don't need to worry about these just yet, but they're well worth being aware that they're there. Inside the station, we've got starport services. We can return to the surface, and we can launch our ship. So let's have a look at starport services. So a lot to go through. I appreciate we're already quite a few minutes into the video and we haven't seen any action yet, but I do want you to be aware of everything around the game, so that it's basically easier for you to navigate and understand what you're getting yourselves into. So Commodities Market, this is where you can actually trade things. You can purchase things here. So what you want to look for if you do get into purchasing is buying at a lower price here and selling at a higher price in another system. And also, this is where you may want to deliver certain items to when you're doing particular types of missions. What else we got? We got the mission board. We got the passenger lounge. That's a certain type of mission where you can take passengers away, and you will need cabins for that. We've got contacts. Contacts allow you to pay off fines in case you've got a fine. Maybe you've shot a friendly ship by accident, in which case you'll be issued with a fine. You can pay that here. You do get a bounty as well. These you get for attacking and destroying friendly vessels. We've got combat contacts, and these are for conflict zones, and we'll have a look at that a bit later on. And a black market where you can sell illegal goods. So let's go back again. You're not going to need to worry too much about that just yet. Also a crew lounge where you can hire NPC pilots or NPC crew members to go along with you on your ship. Follow Me allows you to customize your character or your avatar. Outfitting, very important. This allows you to look through the modules on your ship and basically change your weapons. We can look at your weapons here. We've got 2 small pulse lasers, and we could change them if we wanted. We can look at our utility mounts. Again, we might want to equip a heatsink. Maybe our ship is overheated and we want to deploy a heatsink to cool it down. Or maybe we have some other type of utility in there, such as chaff. Again, we go through here for all your modules that you want to change. And then we've got Shipyard, where you can buy new ships and advanced maintenance. Again, a lot of these I'm going to come back to in further videos. This is a very quick getting started video. So first things first, we'll have a look at the mission board when we get to another station. And right now we want to get on our way with this particular welcome mission. What we've got to do is head to Azaban Orbital, which is in the Erenin system, as we knew early on. And we can find out where that system is. We can simply open up the galaxy map from here, and it will straight away highlight the Erenin system on the galaxy map. Now the galaxy map is very, very large. You can use the triggers to zoom in and out here. That is the Erenin system, 448 light years away from our current location. The blue triangle marks our current location, which is Celis Primus. So as we zoom out, you can see the rest of the galaxy. And yes, it's very, very large. And yes, you can visit all of these stars here. Over towards the galactic core, you can see just how many stars there actually are. And all these are systems, most of them with dozens of planets inside of. Let's just come back out of that again, and very quickly we'll accept the look at the mission and open the galaxy map, as it should zero us in on our location there. Now, using the D-pad, you can select between your options here. We can select the Erenin system, like that. You can see a little red or orange planetary icon above this particular system. That's telling us that's a destination for one of our missions. We can also plot a route, and that's what we want to do. Plot the route, and the navigation system will plot a route for us so that we can navigate towards it on our travels. So once we've done that, we can exit out, and we can also exit out the station services menu if you're in that, and we can then straight away launch our fighter or our ship. Now, you wanted to go through a pre-flight checklist. This only occurs the first time you launch your ship. After that, you won't have to do this, which is... no, it's really good, because doing this is a bit of a nuisance. Let's just get through this as quick as we can. So a lot of controls to go through on this game. A lot of different functions, many more than you're probably used to on a traditional type of game. Another thing that's very nice is if you press R3, you get headlock from the 6-axis. Very, very helpful, gives you good situational awareness. And here you can see we're on a planetary surface. Again, you can use everything that's the same that I've already showed you. If you haven't got horizons, you'll just find yourself in a space station here. So we then can push up on the right axis, and that will give us some lateral thrust, or vertical thrust rather, or push down and we can come back down. And your shoulder buttons will give you some acceleration. Be careful where you're orientating your ship towards, because you don't want to crash into the ground. So as soon as you've got a little bit of distance away from your landing pad, hold down the circle button, press down on the D-pad, and that will bring up your landing gear. You can use the left stick to roll, and I've got the yaw axis on, or I thought I did, on the right stick. We go through some controls in another video. In fact, there's a lot of controls that bear an entire video going into. So planets are absolutely immense in Elite Dangerous. They're on a 1-to-1 scale. This here is just a moon, but it's very, very large, and flying even at this speed will take you many hours to navigate right around the complete circumference of the planet. Now, down on our UI, we can see at the bottom we've got a radar, and you can see the little orange icon that's selected on that radar is the Viper ship. That's telling us what's selected. On the radar has got two little arrows at either side of it, and on the left of our HUD, the bottom left, you can see the Viper Mark III, and it's now pivoting around. That's the ship we've got targeted. In between the HUD, in between the radar rather, and the Viper, you can see a little circle, little orange circle, and that's got a little blue dot in it. Now the blue dot has got our currently selected target. The target, of course, in this case, is the system that we want to go to, which is Erenin. We selected this from the galaxy map, and it's telling us that it's above us and slightly to the right. So we can point our ship up and turn towards it slightly, and you'll now see it coming into focus. Now what you can do here is two things. You can go into Super Cruise and get away from the planet. Hold down the triangle and press Super Cruise, which is up, or you can go to Hyperspace, which is down. Now Hyperspace will take us straight to Erenin. Super Cruise will take us into faster than light travel and get us away from our current planet. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I just want to show you how that functions. And there we have transitioned into faster than light speed. And there we should be able to see in a moment the planet we're orbiting, the planet we was actually at, start travelling away from us, or us travelling away from that planet rather, and it will shrink back into the distance. So over there in front of us we've got Erin, and we're going to travel there now. You can actually just tap on the triangle to head there, or you can hold down on the triangle and press hyperspace. The choice is yours. It's telling us we're mass locked. We shouldn't really be mass locked considering we're in hyperspace. And there we go. So what will happen now is we'll travel from the system we're currently in and head towards Erin, which is 4 light years away. And we'll do it almost instantaneously. Slight countdown, a little jump through a hyperspace conduit and out the other side. And here we go. That little dot in the distance there you can vaguely see is a star that we're travelling towards, and any moment now we're going to pop out of hyperspace in the new system. Now one thing you want to be careful of when you do arrive at these planets, or these stars rather, is that your ship will start flying towards it straight away. You do not want to crash into it because it will cause your ship to overheat. So pull up, pull to the left or push down, whatever way you want to do it, just avoid it. The other thing you can do of course is zero your throttle. So very briefly, let's have a look at the system map here, and we can see that we're indeed in a different system. This one's got a nice little Earth-like world around it, and the system that we want to go to, or the station that we want to go to rather, is marked by the little orange mission icon, and we can now select this. We want to select it with the little down triangle option. If we exit out the system menu, what that will do is mark it for us in the little circular navigation icon there, the compass if you want to call it that, the one we used to navigate to the planet or the system before. That's between the radar and the little station icon. Now what's happening here is that it's telling me to slow down because I was travelling a bit too fast and we're being pulled in by the planet's gravity well, and we're going to overshoot our target. So to avoid that, what we want to do, you can see our acceleration there on the right of the radar. The little flat bar is as high as it will go. You can see it moving down as I reduce my speed. Again, it moves up as I increase my speed. And as I come towards the middle, you can see that little orange bar turns blue. Now when it's blue, that means it's a safe speed travel. Travelling at a safe speed for the target you're trying to travel towards. So you want to try and keep that towards the lower end of the blue area just before it turns orange again. We can actually speed up a little bit and bring it to blue again, and that will get us towards your destination in the most efficient manner possible. So as we approach the destination there, you can see the planet Azaban, which is a nice blue Earth-like world. Absolutely gorgeous looking area. And over in the distance there we can see Azaban City. That is the outpost that we want to travel towards. Once we're within range, it will tell us that we're in safe dropout speed. And what that means is that you can drop out of super cruise, that you can drop out of faster than light travel, and you'll find yourself at your destination. And in order to do that, you can simply tap the triangle button when the message tells you to do so. Usually that will be at 1 mm, and we've actually overshot it again. Oh, this is because I want to go to Azaban Orbital, not Azaban City. My mistake. Still, it gives us a nice chance to see the atmospheric scattering of the Earth-like world here. Look at that, we might be able to see a sunset. There we go, look at that. Absolutely beautiful, the sort of views that Elite Dangerous is made for. So as we come to 1 mm, we'll find that we get the it's safe to drop message, and we will then be able to drop out of Super Cruise. Any moment now that's going to happen. And there we go, we can now tap the triangle, and we should speed up on the station very, very fast now as we drop out of faster than light travel. So it's quite dark here because obviously we are on the dark side of the planet. the starlight is blocked off by the world there behind it. So fly towards your destination here, in this case Azeban Orbital, and once we're within 7 kilometers, 7.5 kilometers, we can actually look at the left panel here, go across to contacts, and you can see the station that's selected, Azeban Orbital in this case. We're going to select it with the X button, and we're going to choose Request Dock-in. And it's telling us boarding mission denied. Now, quite often, that's because this is a busy area. Now, it might mean there's a lot of other players there. Down on the radar, we can see there's a lot of contacts. Now, these are all solid. Solid contacts usually mean NPCs. But over to the left of myself, I'm positioned in the very centre of that radar. So over to the left of the radar, you can see a hollow rectangle. And that is another player. Another player in his ship. If that square turns to a triangle, it means he's deployed his weapons. And as we get closer, you can see all those solid icons have now resolved to squares as well. That also means that there's a load of players around this station. Some of them may be docked, others will be like us, attempting to dock. And we can send another request for docking permission, but it's likely that this is very full. The problem with small outposts like this is they have a very small number of landing pads. And so you can't always just come in and land. One of the problems of being in open play then. Now we can simply wait here. Oh, we can see there's quite a lot of players here actually. Let's head on over and have a look. Yeah, all of them in Sidewinders, all brand new players. Except for this one here, who's in a Mark III. And I've actually accidentally deployed my weapons there. And we can see a rather friendly commander there sending out a lovely message. Up in the top left of the HUD. So I'm going to try one more time. If this doesn't work, then what I'm going to do is swap out to solo mode. Unfortunately, we're not going to get in there. So what I'm going to do right now is save and exit to the main menu. I'm going to swap out to solo mode, because in solo mode there won't be any other players around here, and we won't have to wait for a landing pad. Now that may or may not be something you want to do. Some people actually frown down on that, but you know, it's all fair because it's all entirely within the rules of the game. So like I say, solo mode is, well, it's basically single player, online single player. So back here again. We're slightly further away from the station this time because this is where the game actually places us. Just look how gorgeous that is. If you want to get any nice views of the game, hold down circle and press right on the D-pad. And that should take you out to the external camera. You can get free camera by pressing R3. And press triangle, you can hide the UI. And here you can get some absolutely stunning views. And you can get some nice screenshots as well. Let's get back in there. Fly towards Azeban Orbital. Now if you want to travel a little bit faster, you can just tap on the circle button and that will give you a boost. But do beware of where you use it, because it sometimes can cause you to crash into things. Certainly don't use it when you're too close to a station, because you'll end up crashing right into that station. So now again we're within 7.5 kilometers range of the chosen target. We can select the contacts menu and once again request docking permission. And this time we've been granted boarding permission. So I might be tripping over my words a little bit more than normal here, but it's quite a lot later than I normally make these videos. So I'm going to use that as part of the excuse. I just keep looking at that sunrise there. So you can see the message above our radar telling us to proceed to landing pad 3. So as we get closer to the station, you can see that there's some orange, well, there should be some orange squares there. There we can see there's one right in front of me. And as we can come round, you can see that's marked as landing pad 3. So what we want to do is position ourselves there. Be very careful not to crash your ship. And we can then come round and hopefully land here. Now circle and down on the D-pad. We'll deploy landing gear. I'm actually well over to the wrong side here. And there, as we point down, you can see the landing pattern. What you want to do is on the little docking menu, you can see there's a little pillar on the bottom of our ship with a circle attached to the bottom of it. We need to get that circle into the centre of the little targeting area there. Once we've done that, it will turn blue. We can then come to a stop and we can position ourselves correctly and come down very, very gently onto the landing pad, and we will now land. So now going to Starport Services, and what we're going to want to do is go to the missions menu, go to the missions board, and we will now be able to complete this mission. We can see the Welcome Commander mission right there. We can hand it in. Let's claim that reward. And what do we get? We get a little bit of extra reputation. Reputation with factions is very important. Over there we can see a mob of Erenin on the left of the screen, the little lady there with the green hair. And you can see there's a progress bar there, an orange progress bar, and it's right in the middle. And that tells us our reputation with that particular faction is currently neutral. We can then go one stage above that, and then another stage above that, which is friendly, and right at the top we make us allied. Now, the higher your reputation with these particular people, the better missions they will actually offer you. For argument's sake, we get a Outbreak acquisition contract here, which is locked because it requires us to be friendly, and it's actually got quite a nice reward to it. Otherwise, we've got a delivery mission here of 103,000 credits reward, which wants us to deliver 2 units of liquor. So I'm going to take that mission. We're going to simply look in here, and it gives us some instructions there. It tells us in red some important instructions there. Hostile ships may be sent against us, and it also says mission failure could lead to a fine. Now, where is the mission? It's 12 light years away. We're going to accept this one. But I usually recommend that you check your destination before you accept a mission, especially when you've got a new ship like the Sidewinder here. More often than not, you'll find the mission is outside the range of your ship, and you simply won't be able to complete the mission because you won't be able to get to that destination. So again, as we did before, we can open up the galaxy map here. And this time it will again highlight our destination. But this one might be out the range of our ship, and it actually is out of the range of our ship because there's no blue line connecting it. And if we try and plot a route, it's going to say a route plotting failed, which unfortunately means it's outside of our jump range. So a way around that is to give ourselves a new jump drive. Get ourselves the ability to actually travel further. Let's go to the outfitting menu. Now, unfortunately, this particular station may not have the drive that we're looking for, in which case that means we'd need to travel to another location. But first, let's just jump in here and have a look to get an idea of what we may or may not need. And it will of course cost a bit of money. It may be more money than we've actually got. So we want to look in core internal. And here you can see there's a frameshift drive. It's actually grade 2, and it's an E class 1 or class 2 grade E. So we need to browse that. And yes, you can see there's a red frameshift drive there. Red means we cannot purchase it for whatever reason. In this case, it's because we haven't got enough money, because it's actually 53,000 credits, with the A-rated one being 163,000 or 160,000 credits. Now down the bottom, in blue, right at the very bottom, you can see our minimum or current jump distance. And you can see right now it's 5.82 light years. If we can afford the 2B jump drive, it will put us up to 10.75 light years. And if we can afford that, we can get up to 12 light years. So we need a bit more money then. What can we do for money? That doesn't require us to travel to another system. Let's have a very quick look at the mission system here. Maybe there's something a bit closer. So we can source and return 9 units of cargo combat stabilizers. Unfortunately, we haven't got the cargo space for that. You can see at the top it says requirements not met. So let's have a look. Who have we got here? We've got the Evelyn Expeditionary Institute. The Terran Colonial Forces. Requirements not met. Requirements not met. Here we've got an available mission. Outbreak data transport needed. Outbreak data transportation needed, rather. Again, that goes back to Ibutis, which I think is where we were just now. Or maybe it wasn't. I think we were at a different place, weren't we? What else have we got? So over here you can see numbers. The number in bright orange or yellow is 1. That's the available missions that we can accept. On the other side is the total amount of missions. So unfortunately, there's not many missions here. Certainly not ones that are going to get us much in the way of money. So then, at this point, we've got a choice. We can either accept one of the lower paid missions here, or we can accept one of the very difficult higher paid missions, which I'm not going to do. Or, alternatively, we can head to a different station. Now, this is just a small outpost. There's a few other larger stations here, and they may have some missions that are more suitable to our needs. Another option, of course, is to simply remain here and wait for new missions to generate on the board. Now, I believe missions appear every 10 minutes or so, so simply wait for the time to tick over to the next 10 minutes, in this case 11 o'clock in-game time, and you should then see some new missions spawn. But we're not going to do any of those things. What we're going to do is head out and participate in a little bit of combat and try and get some bounty vouchers. These we can exchange for cash, and we should have our new FSD in no time at all. So right off the bat with Elite Dangerous, the galaxy is yours to explore. There's some limitations right at the start. These are all due to the limitations of your ship, and that indeed is going to perhaps be one of your first objectives, to build up your ship, improve it, and perhaps even get a better ship. That though is something we're going to do in another video where I'll pick up from this same point and we'll carry on. I'll also be back with a full-on tutorial video at some point. Hopefully then this video gives you some indication of how to get going in the first half hour of Elite Dangerous. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.